What's going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, coming back to you with another video. And in today's video, I wanted to share the 5 downsides to selling books on Amazon. And I'm talking primarily when you're doing retail arbitrage models such as thrifting, library sales, local pickups, Facebook Marketplace, those sort of sourcing methods. And you know I love selling books. I've been selling books on Amazon for over 10 years. So has my mom. That's how I taught her to sell on Amazon. She goes to a lot of library sales, thrift stores, local pickups, so on and so forth. But I think it's really appropriate on my part as somebody who makes a lot of these videos to share not only the good, but also share the bad, share the downsides, share the things that maybe I wish I would have known when I first started selling books on Amazon. And the reality is, it doesn't matter what business model you're running on Amazon or any business in general, right? Even outside of Amazon, there's always going to be the pros, the cons, the good and the bad. A lot of times you watch videos and everybody just shares, you know, all the amazing things of a particular business, but it stands true. You know, selling books on Amazon, there's quite a few downsides, and I want to share some of the pros and cons so you can kind of weigh out if it's something for you. And I'd love to know in the comments down below after you watch this video, is there anything I missed or anything that really resonated with you? So without further ado, let's dive into the video. Oh, and by the way, if you're new to my channel and maybe you haven't gone through any of my videos or you're looking to learn how to sell books on Amazon, check out my free 5-day book selling workshop down below. It's 100% free. No strings attached. I walk you through literally day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of starting your account, listing your first books, sourcing, shipping, everything you need to know, 100% for free. It's about 5 hours of free content. And I think it's just a great way to be able to take all the information, put it together, and start making some money with books. So, all right, let's talk about downside number 1 of selling books. And again, I'll make another video in the future, and you've probably heard of them. I've got a million reasons why I love books, but these are some of the downsides. Number 1, typically the sell-through rate when you're selling books compared to maybe other products, it's lower. It's a bit slower. Typically, you're going to sell anywhere from about 0.5% to 1% of your inventory per day. I guess in other terms, 15 to 25% of your inventory is going to sell per month. So if you consistently have 100 books in your inventory, you're going to sell about 15 to 25% of your inventory per month. So if you have 100, you're probably going to sell 15 to 25 books per month. That's kind of the norm. Obviously, there's exceptions to the rule if you're only sourcing, you know, fast selling books and really hot selling books that are selling, you know, 30, 40 times a month, and you're only sourcing under 500,000 rank. But you're going to learn quite quickly that it's challenging when you're dealing with books to only focus on really, really hot selling books, especially when you're only doing thrift stores, library sales, Facebook Marketplace, next door pickups, so on and so forth. So compared to, you know, for instance, my model, I don't do thrifting as much anymore. I don't do the retail arbitrage as much. I did that for many years, but now how I source is I source online. I do online arbitrage. So I source directly on eBay. A lot of my friends, they source on Amazon as well. And we're able to really cherry pick high profit, faster selling inventory. Obviously, there's some downsides to that because I have to spend a lot more money. Whereas when you're thrifting, going to library sales, you could spend a lot less money, but you're really at the will of what's available. Number 2, second downside, law firms and counterfeits. If you're not running your books through Booksrun Counterfeit Calculator, your days are numbered. There's a lot of counterfeit books out there, especially with textbooks, mostly textbooks. If you're going to sell textbooks, just know it's risky nowadays. Be very careful. There's a lot of nuance to this. Like, for example, if you sell like high school books, they're a lot less risky compared to like college textbooks, and certain publishers like Pearson are quite risky. But you're going to definitely want to run your books through Booksrun's Counterfeit Calculator. Make sure that they're not likely or highly likely of being a counterfeit. But yeah, there's law firms out there that are literally teaming up with publishers and doing test buys on your inventory. And if it comes back that it's counterfeit, you'll get your account shut down. And literally what these law firms will do is hold your account ransom, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. It's crazy. And unless you pay them or negotiate a deal with them, you ain't getting your account back. It's crazy. So be very, very careful. There's a lot of counterfeits out there. StopCounterfeitBooks.com. Check out that website. Learn how to identify a counterfeit book. But that's one of the downsides to books in particular, especially textbooks. There are quite a few counterfeits out there. And I guess this is true for a lot of different items out there, even with electronics, especially DVDs. Toys, I don't know if there's, you know, maybe certain games, video games possibly. I'm sure there are like replicas and whatnot, but you got to be careful. You have to learn how to identify books that are, you know, not counterfeit. Make sure they're authentic, especially textbooks. So be careful. Number 3, this is a complaint I get from a lot of the folks who are maybe a bit older, or maybe if you have some nagging injuries, you know, maybe you hurt your back. Books are heavy. Books are big and bulky, and you know, they're tough on your back. You know, my good friend Amanda, she started with books a couple years ago. She was doing like 500 or 1,000. Maybe she got up to like 3,000 or 4,000 a month with books, but she has a really bad back. And when we met at our recent event, like, she was telling me like her back is killing her, and a lot of times she said it was from hauling the books around. And now that she's doing eBay to Amazon flips and selling on Walmart, and she's diversified and she does whole bunch of different models now. She grew to over 20,000 a month. Really impressed by Amanda. Flipping with Amanda, subscribe to her, great YouTube channel. But yeah, she said that was one of the downsides. You know, books are really heavy, and when you're shipping them out and boxing them up, and you got to bring them to UPS or even bring them out to your porch to have, you know, UPS pick them up, you know, it's heavy. You know, my mom, she's got herself a little, one of those little lift truck, what are those things called? They fold up and you can put your boxes on it and you kind of wheel them in. I forgot what those are called. The retractable hand trucks, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. We'll put a picture on the screen if my editor can decipher what I'm trying to say here. But get yourself one of those to do some pickups, right? You can schedule a UPS pickup. Number 4, inconsistent inventory. So this could be, you know, having a tough time finding books consistently at library sales or thrift stores, especially because maybe the donations are slow. Maybe competition is beating you. Maybe the thrift stores, I made a video about this recently, maybe your Goodwill scanning all the books. These are some of the downsides of doing retail arbitrage. I mean, there's times where you're going to hit jackpot after jackpot and you're going to crush it. And, you know, there's been times I've made over $1,000 going to a thrift store, absolutely crushing it. But, you know, I feel like, honestly, times have changed. There's more competition, more thrift stores are scanning. I feel like people are becoming more savvy of selling their own inventory online. Tons of opportunities. Don't even make it like, I don't want it to sound like, because I'm gonna have friends of mine like message me behind the scenes like, Steve, are you crazy? Like, you're trying to make it sound like there's no deals out there. That's not what I mean. There's a ton of deals. But for anyone who, you know, was going to thrift stores in 2014 and 2015 and 2016, it was a different world. It was just, there was a lot more opportunities, a lot less competition, a lot less thrift stores scanning. Fees were lower on Amazon. So, you know, that's why I'm such a big, you know, advocate of learning how to do eBay to Amazon flips, Amazon to Amazon flips, doing different models of sourcing, just because sometimes the inventory could be really inconsistent going to thrift stores and stuff. But that's why you want to learn different skills. Start with thrifting, then learn library sales and Facebook Marketplace and Nextdoor. And once you build yourself up, you can get into eBay to Amazon, Amazon to Amazon. There's so many different stepping stones. Just start with one, step on one stone, learn that, and then step to the next and diversify your ability to source. And then last but not least, number 5, the downside is restrictions. You know, a lot of newer sellers, they actually get mixed up with restrictions because there's a difference between being hard gated and like absolutely 100% restricted, like with a lot of textbooks, versus having to apply to sell a book. So a lot of times a book, it might say you can't sell it, but you could actually go into Amazon Seller Central and apply to sell it. And I'm not even talking about invoices. You don't even need invoices for books, but a lot of times you just have to apply to sell, and it kind of unlocks your ability to be able to sell that publisher. There's a lot of small book publishers out there, and you don't need invoices. You just have to literally, it'll say apply to sell this, and a lot of times it'll auto approve you, you know. And also keep in mind, when you're a newer seller, Amazon doesn't trust you, so they're going to restrict you on a lot of books. But over time, and this is a downside, but it's also a good thing, over time they're going to allow you to open up the ability to sell more books. They're going to auto approve you. You're going to scan a lot more books, and it's not going to say you have to apply to sell or anything like that. They trust you more. And it's the same with different brands, even outside of books and whatnot. The more you sell, the more they're going to trust you. So those are the 5 downsides. Again, there's downsides with every business model. Let me know which one resonated with you most. But just want to say I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. Check out the free 5-day book selling workshop. Smash that like button, and let's have an amazing end of the year. Appreciate you guys. Much love.